Hello everyone, good evening. Thank you for joining today's free webinar. My name Muhammad Yasin, PhD Scholar Management Sciences. I am professional member of Institute of Global Professionals, which is a leading provider of services to students and community resource, providing the holistic social work and education to create efficient generation. We have already organized 94 free webinars on different topics. Today, we are presenting 95th free webinar on a very crucial topic, hope in darkness. Presented by great speaker, Most Honorable Madam Yolanda Elam. Yolanda Elam, affectionately well known as Jo for her infectious energy, contagious smile, and over 20 years of service in public education. She is health, life, and fitness coach that is transparent about sharing her journey with alcoholism and empowering women to be their authentic selves and live their best life unapologetically. So please give a warm welcome to respected Madam Yolanda Elam. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Just getting my screen going. Situated, get settled, grab you some coffee. If it's AM like it is for me, grab you some water or tea. If it's evening or afternoon for you. And if you have not done so yet, please grab something to write with and to write on. We do have a little interaction going on before the end of the presentation. Muhammad, can you hear me okay? Muhammad.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure. This is new to me. This is all new, so I'm trying to make sure you can hear me okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me get
Carry
back.
on.
Thank you, sir. Get get back to that screen. Okay, where was it? Here it is. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let me find out who all is joining me today. If you're able, I want you to type the word happy in the chat. If you enjoy a good old-fashioned happy hour, the social drinking time after your job. If you enjoy a good old-fashioned happy hour after work, put happy in the chat. And I can't see the chat, so I'm hoping somebody's responded. Go ahead and drop a W in the chat if you enjoy a nice glass of wine to wind down and relax before you go to bed. Put a W in the chat if you enjoy a little wine before you go to sleep. What about my shot takers? Where are the shot people at? It's somebody's birthday. It's somebody's birthday. It's a promotion, a celebration, bachelor party, bachelorette party. You're taking shots. Put a shot in the chat if you resonate with that. That's who I was. I enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed the happy hours, the glasses of wine to relax, the shots to celebrate. And I enjoyed all of it so much, y'all, so much that I became an alcoholic. It was March 11, 2019. I had walked into my home, end of the day, went right into my regular routine. I walked into my kitchen. I grabbed my glass and my bottle. Behringer White Merlot, 14.5%. I poured myself a glass, placed my bottle on the counter, looked over in the corner to make sure that my reserve bottle was ready because I knew that it was a turn-up night. It was a Thursday, so I was about to watch either How to Get Away with Murder or Scandal. Either way, I was getting ready. I placed my glass onto the coffee table in my family room. And as I took a seat on my couch and waited for the ads or the commercials to go through, I began to have a conversation with that glass of wine. Literally, I began talking to that glass of wine the same way I'm talking to you. And I told that glass, I don't want you. I don't want you. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of what you're doing to me. I'm tired of the way you make me feel. I'm tired of the blackouts. I'm tired of lying to my husband. I'm tired of my 25-year-old daughter choosing to drink with me just so I wouldn't drink too much by myself. I was tired. And it wasn't the kind of tired where I needed a vacation or sleep in on a Saturday. I was tired in my spirit. And no matter how hard I tried, I could not pick up that glass of wine. And so I drank it along with the rest of the bottle, the reserve bottle in the corner of the kitchen. And I took about 25 prescription meds because I didn't want to wake up the next day. I just wanted to die. And when my husband found out what I had done, in his shock and his despair, he tried to comfort me. He called the police. He called the ambulance. He didn't know what to do. I got angry and I got frustrated and I got pissed off that he's trying to take it from me. He's trying to take the life that I didn't want anymore. So I ran out of my house, darted into the middle of the road, and I prayed for a car to just come hit me really quick so I could die fast. That didn't happen. I wound up in the ER. and I was on suicide watch. That's where they have someone sitting at the foot of your door in the room to make sure that you didn't attempt anything. My husband was there. My mother-in-law was there. They were both sad and shocked, scared. And I laid there, and I went in and out of consciousness quite a few times. And I made the decision that I was going to go ahead and get everybody off my back. I'm going to get everybody to leave me alone, and I'm going to go ahead and go to a rehab. My intention to go to the rehab was just so I could check it off of my list, so I could continue drinking. Because even though I wanted to stop, I couldn't stop. So I figured, if you can't beat them, join them. So I was planning to drink until the end of my days. I went to a rehab, part-time residential, up in Greenville, Texas. It's about an hour and a half from my home. And I was transported there in the side of gurney. I don't know if you can see me. So I was laying in the back of this ambulance, and I was strapped down, coming in and out of consciousness once again, awake, asleep, awake, asleep. And when I got to that rehab, I was surrounded by people who were similar to me, but not quite like me. You see, I thought I was better than everyone else. I thought because I have degrees, because I had been married for almost 30 years, because I had children and grandchildren, that I was better. I just didn't have enough strength to stop drinking. These other people must have other issues. It's something wrong with them. So I left that rehab, and on the way to another one, because the doctors just suggested I go from door to door to another rehab center to spend more time there. I wanted to stop by and give me another glass of wine before I went, or another bottle before I went to rehab, because that's how much relationship was formed between me and that bottle. I had to have something before I went, but I didn't. My husband wouldn't take me. So I went to this next rehab, and I was there for 30 days. I was on a women's unit, and there were 7 of us. And while I was within that unit, I was given a gift. I was given a gift of information. In one of my sessions, my therapist told me, she told us, that I have a disease. I have a disease called alcoholism, and I was addicted. A gift? You're wondering why I'm smiling? You're wondering why I'm smiling with this big Chester Cheetos bag commercial character smile? Because that gift freed me. It made me realize that it wasn't me. There was nothing wrong with me. I wasn't being immature. I wasn't weak. I wasn't not praying hard enough. I wasn't not crying hard enough. It was something wrong with my brain. There was something going on with my body. And that freedom of knowing that I have a disease of alcoholism, it gave me hope. It gave me hope in this darkness that I had been in for over 2 decades. You see, I'm 48 years old. I had been drinking since I was 23. And it progressed over time. So with that hope, I began to take steps to start living a life of authenticity, of being my true self, living with peace and joy and happiness. And I want to give you a glimpse of that today. So the first thing I want to share with you is 4 tips, suggestions, strategies on how you can find hope in darkness. Hang on, pain ends. So why not be yourself every day? The H in hope stands for help. As I sat there drinking for over 2 decades, it didn't dawn on me to seek help. I was this strong, independent Black woman. I didn't need anybody to help me. I could figure this out on my own. It is okay to hurt. It is okay to be sad. And it is okay to seek help. Unfortunately, there are some barriers to seeking help. Here's a few. Emotional professional help. I didn't need that. I have 6 degrees. I'm a grown ass woman. I don't need to get emotional support and professional help. Not recognizing that. That's a barrier. I didn't know where to go. I had seen a couple of episodes on televisions and movies that had, the rooms that you could walk into and you're like, hi, my name is Yo, and I'm an alcoholic. And everybody's like, oh, hey, yo. I feel like Cheers on the TV show. But I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to start. So that's another barrier to seeking help. If you haven't noticed, I'm Black. I'm a strong, bold Black woman, and I come from a Black family. And here in my culture, no racism or nothing like that, no disrespect. But in my culture, I was taught to hold everything in, be strong, be independent, and pray about it all. Just let God take it and don't do anything. That's a false understanding. I was trained not to seek help outside of my family. I was trained to keep it all internalized, and that was not healthy. But that's another barrier to seeking help. Not thinking that it can be fixed. Feeling like it's such a pit of darkness that there will never be a light. That's another barrier. Believing that it can't be resolved, even with assistance, which is help and support. So those are a few barriers to seeking help. And of course, with every barrier, there's a way around it. Here are a few sites that I came up with. I hope you'll have access to this so you can click on the links. But if not, they're easy to find. If you struggle with alcoholism as I do, Alcoholics Anonymous. That's the 12-step program. It was a great way for me to start. How to get mental health. Addiction and substance abuse is a form of mental health. There's a problem going on with my brain. There are sites out there like mentalhealth.gov that give you other support options and other ways to seek help and support. Because remember, it's okay to seek help. It's okay to need help. Then there's Cocaine Anonymous, which is just like Alcoholic Anonymous, but for those who struggle with substance abuse with cocaine or other narcotics. And then the Suicide Prevention Resource Center. If someone is out there and they think about taking their life as I did, this is another place you can go. Again, the H is for help. You are not alone. The O is for ownership. I had to take the time to look into my mirror and say, who exactly am I? Who is it that I want to be? Am I going to be this victim? Am I going to be a survivor? I cannot be both. I cannot be blessed and stressed at the same time. So I want you to join me in this activity to find out, what does a victim say and what does a survivor say? That paper and pen that I asked you to get earlier, if it's not close to you, go ahead and grab it. And on this next slide, I'm going to show you a couple of statements. And in the chat, I want you to put a V for victim or an S for survivor on who you think said it. Do you think a victim said it? Type in a V. Or if you think a survivor said it, type in an S. I'm going to share the answers with you when we're done. Here's the first one. Focuses on the pain of loss. Who does that? Does a victim focus on what they've lost? Or does a survivor focus on what they've lost? Something's gone, whether that's a loved one, an item, a job, something is lost and they're focusing on it. Who does that? A victim or a survivor? Puts one foot in front of the other. Let's march, y'all. One foot in front of the other. What type of person does that? Does a victim do that or a survivor? Put a V for victim and S for survivor in the chat. Wonders how long until they'll feel good again. How long before I'll be happy? How long before I'll feel joy? V or S? Embraces life. They grab it. They hold on to it. It belongs to them. A victim or a survivor? Argues with life. How dare you give me lemons, life? I'm not thirsty. I don't want to make any lemonade. Who argues with life? A victim or a survivor? Wallows in self-pity. Woe is me. Woe is them. The world is against me. I'll never make it. Who does that? A victim or a survivor? Grinds to a halt. They just go and go and go and go until there's nothing left for them to give. They grind until they cease to a halt. Who is that? A victim or a survivor? That was a little tricky. Decides to feel good even when things aren't so great. You know what? It was a rough day at work today, but I'm going to smile anyway. Victim or survivor? Inspired by others' successes. Oh, they got a mansion across the street. Oh, I like that gray brick. When I get mine, it's going to have stone. They're inspired by other successes. Victim or survivor? Cherishes remembered joy. Seeks retribution. Seeks redemption. Victim or survivor? Jealous of someone else's success. That same mansion across the street with the brick, whatever. The tornado's going to be here next week. I hope it crashes it. Victim or survivor? And then comforts others. Does a victim comfort others, or does a survivor comfort others? So let's see how you did. Notice how I have a colored word in every statement. All of the orange ones are victim statements. Argues with life, jealous, seeks retribution, focuses on pain. That's what a victim would say. And these others are survivor statements. And I just dare to ask you, which one were you? Which one are you? As I said those statements, as you read those statements, which one would you find yourself saying? And just know that it's always okay to flip your script and to change your mind and become a survivor if you've always been a victim. The H is for help. You are not alone. I know I can't sing. I should leave it to Michael Jackson. The O is for ownership. Are you a victim or are you a survivor? And the P in hope is pause. It is okay to take a moment to breathe, to take a deep breath and just ask myself, where am I going with this thought? What do I want to do at this moment? Breathing is a beneficial, it's an opportunity to just sit and be, to be with yourself, to be still, and to hear from your spirit and from your heart. Other ways you can pause is you could take a walk. Go out there and experience nature. And I think I heard them say earlier that some of the places are still shut down and some of the places because of COVID, you can't get out, but there's always your backyard. You know, you might not can get out there and go amongst the people in the community, but you can go in your backyard, open a window if you can't even do that, but spend some time with nature. Meditation. When I first heard about meditation, and it actually was in rehab when I first practiced it, I imagined sitting like this young lady on the couch, but I had my hands up making an noise. That is not meditation. I've learned that meditation is just another form of sitting in silence and being still. That silence does not mean that you don't have thoughts, because you will have thoughts. The thoughts should pass through like clouds. You don't focus on them. You just let them allow them the space that they're asking for, and then they're gone. So I'm practicing meditation a little bit more now. And yeah, I still don't make the noise. So if you're able, in the chat, what is a way that you could pause? Give some other suggestions on you can pause. Spend some time in nature. Breathe. Meditate. Maybe somebody can come back to the chat and look for other ways that they hadn't thought of to take a pause. The H is for help. The O is for ownership. Are you a victim or a survivor? The P is for pause. You can breathe. You can meditate. You can take a walk. The E in hope is for take it easy on yourself. During my first year of recovery, I remember that if I had a thought of alcohol, I was beating myself up. Oh, how dare I? Why am I even thinking about this? I should be stronger by now. I've gone through rehab. I'm still relying on some strength that's not mine. I can do this. Take it easy. Give yourself some compassion. Give yourself some self-love. I didn't become an alcoholic in 2 weeks. It didn't happen overnight. 2 decades I drank. And it might not be 2 decades that I have that sense of joy and peace, because I'm having that now, and it's only been 2 years. But you want to take it easy on yourself. Give yourself some love. Here are some ways to do that. Decide what is important to you. Unfortunately, a lot of people still go around living the life of other people's desires and wishes for them. What's important to you? What kind of things do you want to do? What kind of person do you want to be? What type of things do you want to have? We're going to get to that. What's important to you? Another way to take it easy on yourself is practice that self-compassion. Give yourself a hug. Look in the mirror and just say, I love you for 2 minutes. Give yourself some love. Nobody else has to, because you should love yourself. Speaking of shoulds, that's coming up. Take yourself out. I am the best date I've ever had. I have great conversation. I'm very affordable, and I'm a lot of fun. Take yourself out. Go to a movie, go to lunch, grab some coffee. You can have yourself a date in the house too. Stop every 90 minutes. Whatever you're doing, if you're in the workplace, if you're at home, for 90 minutes, set yourself an alarm. I like to call it the joy alarm. Set an alarm every 90 minutes. And when that alarm goes off, you give yourself some kind of joy. I love music. I will have my alarm go off and I will get up and I will just dance. I will sit there and just smile and look at some TikToks or tell myself some lame jokes, because I am the best lame joke teller ever. But give yourself a 90-minute joy alarm break. Let it go. If you're doing something that is not giving you joy, let it go. Life is too short. We are not promised tomorrow. If something is bothering you or getting on your nerves, remove yourself from the situation. Put your Elsa on, everybody. Let it go. Let it go. I know I can't sing. Today, nothing is urgent. Right now, nothing is urgent. If you're catastrophizing and thinking about the future, if you're being anxious and worried about the past, nothing is urgent today. There's that point that they say, yesterday was history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. It's not urgent. Be here today, right now. Drop the shoulds. Don't shoulda on yourself. I should be here. I should be there. I should do this. I should do that. Don't put those expectations on yourself. You get to do things. Change that to I get to go here. I get to do this. It is a joy and a gift to be able to live. Don't shit on yourself. And the last one, treat yourself the way you would treat others. Treat yourself the way you would treat company. When they open things back up and somebody comes to visit, in my house, we take out the good drinks. I have like the Gatorades and the Powerades. They come out when somebody visits. When my kids are here, they get the Kool-Aid burst. They get something really simple or some water. So treat yourself the way you would treat others. Give yourself all the good treats that you have put to the side when somebody comes to visit. So those are ways to take it easy on yourself. The H in hope is help. You are not alone. The O is for ownership. Are you a victim or a survivor? The P is for pause, breathe, meditate, take a walk. The E, take it easy on yourself. Show yourself some love. And then I added a special C. So my presentation is called Hope C. This C is for celebrate you. Celebrate you. Which leads me into asking you, who are you? Who are you? We're going to take some time to uncover the ideal you. Who are you? Take a little quick 30-second dance party break. You can stand up and stretch a little bit if you need to. You can shake some things out if you need to. Just right here, we're going to do a little 30-second or a minute dance party. Get the rhythm of the night. We're going to find out who you are. You will definitely need a pen and paper for this one. So if you haven't gotten it, go ahead and grab it. This is the rhythm of the night. Oh yeah. This is a good time to breathe. Shake things out. I know it's the evening for some of y'all. This is a good time to get yourself woke back up. Or if it's the morning, like for me, it's a good time to wake yourself up even more. This is the rhythm of the night. Ooh. Let's find out, who are you? Who are you? Who am I, you ask? I am a dove that comes across as an eagle. I am a sea of jokes that make others giggle. I am a lover of people, places, and things that make me smile and laugh for the joy they bring. I am an awake child, a found soul. I don't always have to be right. I'm a pit of darkness that's turned into a beacon of light. I am me, not you. I am who I am. See me, love me, accept me, or not. There will be no boo-hoo here. I am me. I am who I am. And I wonder, who are you, my dear? Let's find out who you are. The first thing I want you to do is we're going to spend 2 to 3 minutes. Let's say 3. We're going to spend 3 minutes writing down characteristics that describe your ideal you. Who is it that you want to be? I want you to stay away from roles and titles like I want to be an entrepreneur, or I want to be a CEO, or I want to be a spouse or a partner or a mother. No titles. Focus on the kind of characteristics of the kind of person you want to be. And now during this activity, you have limitless belief in yourself, limitless belief in yourself. There are no limited beliefs. There are no traumatic pasts. There are no anxiety thoughts about the future. You get to be whoever it is you've always wanted to be. And I'm going to have a slide. It's going to give you some examples of some attributes, some characteristics that can get your brain going. You are welcome to take some of the words you see on the slide if you feel stuck, or if you're a person who thinks you already know who you are, go ahead and write that down and remind yourself, this is who you are. So for the next 3 minutes, as the song is playing, I want you to write down what type of person makes your ideal self. Are you a person who wants to be brave? There are no wrong answers. Ideal self. Few more seconds. Who do you want to be? If you haven't already done so, I would love to see you put a couple of characteristics in the chat. It could be any of the words that you saw on the screen that you want to step into or anything else you thought of. Who do you want to be? Who is your ideal you? The next thing we want to do to tap into your ideal you is talk about what do you want to do? What kind of things do you enjoy doing? What are your hobbies? What activities interest you? There was an image I was presented to with a couple of years ago, and there's a little kid, and there's 3 boxes below him, and it says, when you're in your 20s, you have lots of time and lots of energy, but you don't have money. And then you're in your 30s and 40s, and you have energy and you have money, you don't have a lot of time. And then in your 50s and senior ages, you have time and you have money, but you don't have as much energy. And that's just like a system of life, the typical system of life. And of course, we are all unique and different, but I want you to imagine that you have limitless money, limitless time, and limitless energy. What kind of things would you want to do? What are things you've always dreamt about doing since you were a child? And maybe it could be things you've done before and you want to do it again. But for this next song, for these next few minutes, I want you to just let the brain go. Let your pencil flow. First thought, best thought. What kind of things do you want to do? For me, I would love to travel the world. I have yet to do that. This, of course, is traveling to me. I'm virtually in Bangladesh, I believe, right now, in Pakistan, and I'm here in the United States in Texas. This past weekend, I was in Sydney, Australia for an event, and I'm still located here in Texas. So I want to travel the world physically. The closest I've been is my husband is a zookeeper here at the Dallas Zoo, and he used to go to these rhino conferences every other year. And one year we went to the one in California, and I have to train to the end of the border and walked across the Tijuana. And that's the closest I've been to traveling the world, to actually being out of this country. So one of my goals and dreams with unlimited energy, time, and money is to travel the world. Another thing that I want to do is I want to tap into my feminine side. Yeah, I've always been like this aggressive, active, strong, bold, and I want to tap into the softer part of myself in this world. And I would love to swim with the dolphins. Not too deep, though. I don't want to go into water too much, but I do want to get in the water with them and swim with the dolphins. And then one more thing I want to do with unlimited energy, time, and money is I would love to see the sunrise and the sunset in every continent of the world. I just think it'd be beautiful to see that. So those are just some examples of what I would do. Of course, there's several more, but I want to encourage you to just let the pen flow. During this next song, just what kind of things would you love to do? Limitless energy, limitless money, limitless time. What activities make up you? Start writing. What kind of things did you come up with? In the chat, if you're able, go ahead and write in there. What kind of things would you do? I bet you skydive is going to be in there. That's usually a good one. People want to skydive. I don't know why, but I'm sure that's an adventurous person out there who wants to skydive. Or maybe climb the Great Wall of China. But you'll have unlimited access to money so you can afford security to protect you. So what kind of things did you want to do? Put it in the chat. So you talked about who would you like to be? What kind of things would you like to do? And our last question is, what do you want to have? And I know materialism seems to be a negative word, but if you, again, had unlimited access to any resource available to you, what kind of things would you want to have? For me, I would want to have money. No, it does not make me a shallow person. It does not make me materialistic because money just enhances who you are. And I am a good person. I would like to have money so that I can support other organizations, so that I can help people around the world, so that I can give to my family, so I can help out my friends, so that I can enjoy life and then walk around being this energetic magnet that people can actually feel that joy from me. So yes, I would like to have money. I would also like to have and to give unconditional love. Love is a universal language, and we all speak some form of it. And I would just love to receive love. So that's something else I would like to have. Unconditional love. I would like to have money. Another thing I would like to have is this energy. I'm pretty energetic, as you can tell, but I want this form of energy that connects me to the connected, to the world. I want this energy that just surpasses my understanding of what it's like to be in connection with others and nature. And then I would like to have time. I'd like to have time freedom specifically, to be with my grandkids, to take them traveling, to enjoy my adult children, to again travel the world. I would like to have time. It is our most precious resource. It is something that we can never get back, and once it's gone, it's gone. And a quick plug, I sure appreciate you taking the time to be here with me today. So those are some things I would like to have. And then what about you? What are things you like to have? And they don't have to be materialistic. Like love is not materialistic. Time is not materialistic. But it's also okay to put down a Bentley or a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom mansion with a drive up to driveway with trees and landscape. Notice that's one of mine. But whatever it is you've always wanted to have, what does that look like for you? What is the ideal you want to have? If you haven't started yet, go ahead and start. So if you haven't done so yet, just type in the chat a couple of things that you would like to have. Again, be as materialistic and sloppy as you want to be. So as we draw to a pre-close, what I challenge you to do next is we just tapped into what I call finding your ideal you, a peekaboo into authentic you. Take these 3 lists that you started and expand on them both in time and quantity. Spend about 5 minutes on each question. Who do you want to be? Another 5 minutes. What do you want to do? And another 5 minutes listing what do you want to have? And when you've created this 3 to 5, I think I had 7 pages of of characteristics that I want to walk into, things, activities I want to do, and the kind of things I want to have. Once you created that, break it down to a top 10. It's called a 10 to a win list. Create you a 10 to win list. The top 10 things you want to be, do, and have, a collection of the 3 lists. And then from there, create you a top 3 list. And when those top 3 things are listed, spend every day speaking them into existence. When you look in the mirror, I am bold. I am compassionate. I am brave. I enjoy traveling the world. I enjoy being amongst nature. I have $85,000 in my savings account. I have unconditional love to and from my family. Speak those things into existence on a daily basis. And as you say it aloud, it subconsciously, it starts to manifest within. So that's how you start to take steps on being your authentic self when you have found yourself out of that darkness because you found hope. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I don't know if this is the time for me to do this or not, but I do have a Facebook group called Be Yourself Every Day. Yes, it's a play on my name, Yo. And I will be doing a 3-day authenticity challenge. A little bit more of what we just did. Are you really who you want to be? Because you have the right to be yourself unapologetically. And if you're lacking hope and you feel yourself in darkness, remember, seek help. Take ownership. Take a pause when needed. Go easy on yourself and celebrate. And then I go back to here and I click stop screen. Oh,
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
hello. Hi.
Ma'am, I'm not able to hear you, ma'am.
You can't hear me? I'm not on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. I hear you. I
I'm not
hear
able
you.
to hear you, ma'am. I'm not able to hear anything.
Uh,
Hello?
I don't know what to do. I can hear you.
Uh,
And my mic is not muted.
hello?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. I don't know why you can't hear me. I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay,
Uh,
perfect. Yes, yes.
hopefully problem is solved. Okay. Now move to our next part. Our next part is the quiz competition. So it's time for quiz competition. After quiz competition, we'll back to Q&A. So before Q&A, we'll just start our quiz competition. Mm, just allow me a little bit. Dear participants, this is the code for today's quiz competition. So hope so you are all are joining. We'll allow 5 minutes more for joining. So in between 5 minutes, please join with us. This is the code 3909996.
Can I play?
Ma'am, am I audible, right?
Can you hear me?
Ma'am, am I audible?
I'm here.
No, am I audible, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Dear participants, you don't need to download anything. Just go to Google and browse Kahoot and join directly. Let's check. 21 already joined.
I want to play. I play Kahoot all the time with my students.
After this quiz competition, we have Q&A. So join first of all join quiz competition. After that, we'll back to Q&A. Now it's time for quiz competition. Manabendra Devonath. Manabendra Devonath, it's time for quiz competition. So join in quiz competition through Kahoot. It's 49, 50, 51. Okay, we have 4 minutes more. After that, we congratulations, Rukhsana Nazir, for your last webinar's achievement. Congratulations, first, second, and third for today's quiz competition. Wow. I saw that, ma'am, you also played, right?
Yes, but I've skipped a couple of questions.
And third, maybe our one admin, Umme Salma. And Lisa, she also get some quiz competition previously. Mona Sadawai, yeah, she's first. Okay.
Congratulations, winners. Everybody won because they played.
Yeah, everybody on, everybody on. Yes, those three participants, first, second, and third, cordially requested. Please inbox us in our page inbox with your full name within short time. Now it's time for Q&A.
Thank you, Sarkashik, for conducting a great quiz, and congratulations to winners. Ma'am, you thanks for ma'am for giving a very excellent presentation. He has defined in very practical way. Thank you, ma'am. Best time for breakfast, uh, 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 breaking the fast. Thank you. I went for because of this is month of fasting, and in Pakistan that was the time of breaking the fast.
What'd you
And
do?
yes, I have done now. Okay. Thank you, everyone who has contributed in quiz competition. Now it's time to question and answer sessions. All the participants can participate. You can write in the chat box your question. Thank you. Ma'am, first
Yes.
question came. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. How to be positive all the time, even you know you are ignored by people?
That is a good question, and thank you for asking it. The first thing I want to say is there is never being able to be positive all the time. No one is positive all the time. We're humans. We have the right to be sad, angry, frustrated, pissed off. It's okay. But
Yeah.
if you do want to have more joy in your life, then I would challenge you to not rely on other people for it. You can find joy from within you. That's why the activity, what kind of things do you enjoy doing? What kind of person do you want to be? You focus on you and what brings you happiness. And the other people might see it and not ignore. But if they don't, I would not really worry about it because it's all about what you can do for yourself. Because you always can rely on you. You can't always rely on someone else.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Next, uh, came from Moon. Question: how can we help people around us when they feel very depressed and helpless?
You can help them a couple of ways. The first way I suggest is by, again, focusing on you. Positivity is contagious. Joy is contagious. And if you're walking around being, yourself and you feel good about that, that person might tap into that. And even if it's just for a moment, you've given them a break from that hopelessness. And again, remind them of those 4 things. Seek help. Ask them, are they being victim or owner or survivor? Encourage them to take a pause and breathe and meditate. And then remind them that it's okay to hurt, but take it easy on themselves. So I would say start with you. Be the magnet that attracts them to want to be positive.
Thanks, ma'am.
Welcome.
Next question from Cherry Jan Low. How can we handle Zoom fatigue and be efficient workers?
Let's see, Zoom fatigue. I think we all have that at one point, haven't we? I would say first, turn Zoom off. It's okay to miss a meeting. It is okay to say, I'm going to take a 15-minute break and they only gave me 5. Do what you need to take care of you and keep yourself sane. So or another thing you can do too, is this just came to me, do some movement. If you feel yourself all worn out on Zoom and like, oh, another meeting, get up and do some jumping jacks or put on some music or dance around. And then you'll get an energy boost and go back to the meeting. And then, okay, I'm ready.
Thank you. Next question from Billy John D. Why we need to still have a good relationship towards our co-workers, where in fact some of them sees you as a rival.
It's okay to be seen as a rival. That drives both of you. That helps you keep your game up, and that makes them bring their game to try to match yours. So I wouldn't worry about them being a rival. As far as a relationship as a coworker, that's where you work, and that's where you're going to spend the majority of your time. So try your best to keep it cordial. You don't have to like the people you work with, but you do want to be respectful. And just, keep that box open to make sure that it doesn't get into a toxic relationship. But that rival, that's good. That means you're doing something. They just want to be like you. That's all.
Good. Thank you. Next question, Lord Trampo. How do you motivate teenagers who attempting suicide?
Wow, that is such a deep question. People who are on the verge of suicide, motivation is not what they need. What they need is to seek help and support. Sometimes it's a mental issue that we can't fix by being happy and taking them to Disney World and things like that. It's a serious thing to have a mental issue. So if you think someone is in the process of attempting suicide or they're in that level of depression, seek support. Go to that suicide hotline link that I've shared in the PowerPoint, or ask someone if they know somewhere else that you can take the person. But definitely, as soon as you can, get them in front of somebody or on the phone somebody to seek support. Ask for help. Don't try to fix it on your own.
Nice. Next question from Muna Bandra. How to train mind?
I think they mean, how do you maybe train your mind to, I'm going to go with you thinking about saying how to train your mind to be positive. That goes back to the E and taking it easy on yourself. The negative thoughts that you might be having on a daily basis, they don't happen overnight. Your subconscious is trained to think that way. So what you want to do is Whenever you think something that's not healthy for you, redirect it to something that is healthy. Replace that thought. The thought doesn't necessarily go away, but you can change it to something else. So you train your mind just like you train your body. You take baby steps, you do small tasks repeatedly, and eventually becomes a habit. So that's how you train your mind. Just small things, small changes.
Nice. Next question from Arine M. Meli Kodem. Is it possible that someone's darkness could someone else hope?
Absolutely. Beautiful question. Yes. I believe that's why so many people go through struggles and they have these dark moments that they've experienced, because it's like that one man's treasure is another man's trash, or vice versa. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Either way, somebody else's darkness is light for another person. It gives that person hope because they can see that they're not alone. Somebody else has been through that. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing my story of recovery, because there's someone else out there. Like I was out there thinking I was alone, the only person who couldn't stop drinking, the only person who felt angry and sad and frustrated, but that's not true. So someone else's darkness is definitely potential someone else's hope. Great question, Irene.
Thank you. Next question, Mary Fuller. How to become more productive despite of all the challenges we encounter?
Great question, Marie Florida. Keep it simple. Productivity doesn't have to be that you completed 15 tasks in one day. Productivity can just be, today I'm going to go to the restroom 3 times. Because normally you're so busy, you don't have time. Keep it simple and then make a checklist. Make a checklist of the few things you want to get done. And as you do them, check and celebrate. So the way you can be productive is that you want to keep it simple and celebrate every time you have an activity. Oh, I got another person on the screen.
Thank you.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, next question.
After a long time, we get a question. Actually, I think this question is full on fun. So I think I should put the question into screen.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not in my house.
Ma'am, you have got already clue. This is question. Who is crying?
It's not in my house. I thought it was in Muhammad's house. It's not me. Great question, Mara Brenda, because I was wondering too.
No, I think sound is from our sir, Muhammad Yasin sir's side, but still
Yes.
we are trying to query about who is he or she.
Right. He or she. It sounds like a girl.
Ma'am is very interesting, ma'am.
Yasin sir's grandchild maybe.
It's
Yes.
not my grandchildren. There's nobody here but me and my husband.
Okay, move to the question part again.
Crying my childs.
Ooh.
Okay. Next question. Juna Lan, what is right age to get married?
Jonathan, there's no answer for that. There is no right age. It depends on every person. When I first graduated high school, I already had it planned out. I was going to get married at 23, have my first kid 25, my second kid 27. I got married at 18, had my first baby at 19, second at 21, and third at 23. There is no right age. It all depends on where you are in your life and what God has planned for you. There's no control in that. The age that you get married is the right age.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question, Korean Jai. how do we still be positive in this kind of situation, pandemic?
It goes back to the kind of things you like to do. What is positive to you? So many times we try to think that you have to act a certain way and feel a certain way to be positive. It's not necessarily true. I'm very energetic, and unfortunately people think that, oh, you're so this, you're always positive. No, positivity is a part of who you are. You choose to be positive. So how can you be positive in this situation? Choose to be. Make a choice to be positive.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Next question from Charlie Janelo. How can we healthy handle cyberbullying?
The first thing I would do is encourage you to go to your school system. If you're not teaching from home, then your school district should have a program in place that supports information on cyberbullying, because it's a real thing. And if you're teaching from home, you also might want to access a school district in your area to find out what their protocols are for cyberbullying. But handling it on your own, I wouldn't suggest that, because there's some good information out there with some tips and strategies that you could use. Just ask for help.
Nice. Next question from Christina. How do we transfer positivity to our teenage learners?
A positive teenager? Good luck with that. No, I'm just joking. You can do it. You again, lead by example. Be positive yourself. Have joy for yourself. Be happy for yourself, and then they'll see that in action. And then I also would maybe do something like find out what kind of things make them who they are. What do they enjoy doing? A lot of times we as adults, we push our ways onto our teenagers, and they have their own likes and their own dislikes. Find out what they want to do and like to do that makes them feel positive, and then put them in situations to have that. That's what I suggest.
Thank you. Next question, Charlie John Low. What is much better for one's well-being? Feeling everything deeply or not caring at all?
Neither. You want to have a balance. You want to have a rhythm. You want to have a flow where in the moments, if you need to feel deeply, then you feel deeply. And if another moment you don't need to care, you just don't care. But try to stay away from the extremes of one or the other. It's okay to have both. It's okay to flow. It's okay to not care. It's okay to feel deeply. It's not okay to stay too deep into one or the other. That's where we find ourselves maybe in depression or anger or pain, and that's unhealthy. So just find a rhythm, find a flow.
Nice. Next question from Daria. What would you gonna do if your environment is so negative and no one affirming you, and you have no choice but to keep your depression alone and consuming your mind about problems?
Daria, great question. Beautiful picture, by the way. I'm going to challenge you with a couple of words you chose. You have no choice. I call BS. That is not true. You do have a choice. You have a choice to be that victim or to be that survivor. It's up to you. You can't rely on someone else to affirm you if you're not affirming yourself. I used to tell my daughter when she was a little girl, when you look in the mirror, you see pretty and you tell yourself pretty. Nobody else is going to tell you pretty, whether they do or not, doesn't matter, because you know you're pretty. So you affirm you, and you don't let yourself be consumed with those problems. You control what you think, Daria. You control how you feel. You, the big Y-O-U is in you. So no, that's BS. You have a choice. It's not an easy choice, but it is still a choice.
Okay, thank you. Next question from Gina. What can we do to lessen the stress brought by the pandemic?
Find a way to have some fun. Stand up and dance around the house butt naked. I don't know, whatever you need. If you need to sleep in late 2 or 3 hours, then sleep in late 2 or 3 hours. If you want to go outside and scream to the top of your lungs because you just want to get something out, then do that. But find a way to bring some joy into your life. You need to have fun. You deserve to have fun. That's how I lessen stress, but that's my way. Someone else's way might be sitting down in silence. Someone else's way might be journaling how they feel. Someone else's way might be spending time with family. But find out what works for you to lessen that stress and then do that.
Great. Next question from Marla. How about this scenario that you are doing good, but they did not appreciate it and you feel helpless and hopeless?
Give yourself a high five, Maria. Give yourself a pat on the back. Don't wait for somebody else to show you appreciation. Like I just said about the example with my daughter. Look at yourself and tell yourself thank you. Look at yourself and tell yourself I appreciate you. And if somebody else does it, that's just extra. But give it to yourself first. That way you know you get it.
Thank you. Any other question? Oh. Next question, ma'am. How can you help someone who are stressed if you feel the same?
Great question. No two stresses are alike. One of you all stresses could be like somebody asked earlier, your stress might be the hope for somebody else's stress. So first I will share stresses. And then as you see what you might have in common and what's different, find out what you can get from that gives you all positivity. So it's not the same stress. So you might be feeling stress and they're feeling stress, but something's different about it. And then find out what's different, find out what you can get joy out of it, and go with that.
Nice. Next question from Kiran Joy. How to deal false hope?
I don't know if there is a such thing as false hope, Karen. Hope is hope. Either you have hope or you don't have hope. There isn't an in-between for hope. There's no wishful thinking for hope. Hope is real. Hope exists. And the way I broke it down is the help, the ownership, the pause, and the take it easy. But it could also mean for you, like I said earlier, hang on, pain ends. Hope is not false. It's true and it's genuine and you have it. You just gotta dig deeper to get it out of you.
Next question, Willie John D. Just want to ask how to overcome the hatred inside our hearts to the people who neglected us.
Oh, wow, Billy. Awesome question. Turn the hatred to love. Hatred and love can't live in the same space. So if you can love those people who neglected you, if you can see the positive from the neglect, then that'll change the way you feel. I know that's hard to do, but if you think about it, if those people didn't neglect you and you didn't have this hatred towards them, you wouldn't be where you are right now, which sounds like a strong person who wants to get out of this darkness. So give some gratitude towards that and turn that hatred into love, and it'll change the way you feel about that person.
Very nice. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am Yolanda.
Thank you, Muhammad. And please call me Yo.
Okay. Thank you again for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
It was a pleasure and a joy. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you all from Institute of Global Professionals.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope I'm audible. Sir, can you hear me clearly?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. For today's certification is always the same process. You have to browse www.eduigp.com and you will find today's topic. You have to enroll first. If you have account, then you can log in directly. If you are new, then you have to create an account. So this is the process. We already pinned the certification link into comment section, and I also shared the link into comment section. Our next webinar will be held on day after tomorrow, 11th May. Yeah, this is our next program, 11th May. I think hope to see you all there. The great new experience, the 11th May, which is our 96th webinar. And one more announcement is that we have a special program on 19th May, which is Global Leadership Forum. 7 speaker for 7 countries. So, which is a special program from actually it based on our 100th webinar. So that's the reason we focused on something special on 19th May at the same time. See you all in the same platform. Thank you so much. See you again in the next webinar at 11th May. And again, thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you, sir. And
Thank
thank
you
you
very
all
much.
participants.
Thank you all, and see you again.
Okay. Stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.